shortly here. I was just going to suggest to everybody, put your full name on the screen. So if you don't know how to do that, you just go up to the three dots at the top of your image there, and just it'll ask you to enter in your name.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let's get it rolling.
Okay, Dave. Well, thank you all and welcome to the Marketing Your Business, Your Roadmap to Success for 2022. Can't believe it's 2022 already. My name is Alan Fine and my cohort, David Saxby. Say hi, David.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we're going to give you some great information. Probably the biggest thing we hear from people is they wish they would have started taking notes sooner. So get a pad of paper out and make sure you take lots of notes. We'll have two sections today for answering your questions, one with David, one with me, and then also we'll answer your questions at the very, very end. So today we're going to take the fear out of your online marketing, and we know that many people have told us they've hesitated to jump onto online marketing and also marketing with LinkedIn because they think it's too complicated or it'd be too costly, or they don't want to pay for another course or thing they just don't use. And the biggest thing we found, and I'm sure you found also, is that once you take a course, you have no one to ask afterwards on the finite minutia of how to do things either on your online marketing or on LinkedIn. And we're here to tell you that we have your back. We're going to be in your back pocket afterwards. Want to help you out as much as possible. And you have us available to you even after today. So the way things are going to go today is we're going to do a quick 2-minute talk about who we are and what we do and why we're qualified to teach you. 43 minutes of pure actual content, 5 minutes of how we can help you at the very, very end, and then we're going to answer as many questions as possible. So please write your questions down and keep them to the middle and also the very end. So, why us? Well, my friend David Saxby has been president and creative director of his own company, Spark Communications, for over 40 years. He's been a sales and marketing expert and a business coach. He's a professional speaker, delivered many presentations to entrepreneurs and CEOs. David is probably the most educated person I've seen on diving into your actual current marketing program you have, dissecting it, ripping it apart, and helping you see the things that you actually need to do that you're not doing that you should be doing. And usually, David, when he goes into that process with you, can find an extra 10 to 20%. What can equal $10,000 extra for yourself and your company by seeing what you're not doing and what you should be doing, and then showing you how to do those things if you want them to.
Great. And so Alan, as you probably know by now, is president of Lead Wizard, and he's had 25 plus years in the digital marketing side of things, including website development, and 13 years as a LinkedIn trainer. So actually teaching people how to do their own postings and all of those sorts of things on LinkedIn. He's had 10 plus years in the LinkedIn lead generation sector as well, helping businesses increase their leads. And also, one of the other things that you probably don't know is he takes a great deal of his information and shares that with clients to help them implement things on their own as well. So he's got an opportunity to help you generate more leads for your business. And then the purpose of this webinar is to take those leads and turn them into paying customers. Because a lot of us get leads, we just don't do anything with them. So how many are in this world of new normal, and how has your business changed? One of the things that we've seen lately is this COVID situation keeps going, and businesses are either adapting or they're shutting the doors. So how many of you have seen your business change, and what has it done to generating clients? We're going to help you increase those numbers of leads so you can generate more clients and more revenues. And how many of you are still waiting for that magic phone call from that one person that has $1 million they want to spend with your business? Well, that world's changed too. I want to share with you a story of a client we worked with many years ago. This goes back to the 80s, and why I'm sharing this story with you is just to let you know that even back in the 80s, things changed quite drastically, much like through what we're going through now. In the 80s, as many of you that lived in Alberta know, we went from a very profitable oil-based economy to banks charging interest rates of 26% for mortgages and 11% for personal loans, and so on. And many businesses closed the doors simply because they couldn't adapt. And we approached an organization that was called the Bank of Alberta, and they mentioned they were merging with Pacific and Western Bank out of BC, and they needed to rebrand themselves plus launch this new bank that they were developing. So we developed a strategy for them, created the name, the brand, and all of that was focused around being different from the big six banks. Because what was happening in Alberta is all of the businesses were having to go east to get approval for loans, and many times they got turned down. So Canadian Western Bank came in with a brand new attitude, and we wanted to promote an organization that was different. And the key was they were the first bank in Canada to have drive-through banking, sit-down banking, and telephone banking. And this is in the mid-80s. And we also did a survey of their market, found out a lot of people within the area of where that first bank launched were seniors, and there was a lot of small business owners. So our tagline was, "The real interest is you." But this was all based on what I'm going to talk about today, which is strategy. And the strategy is really the key to your success. So we have a profit formula we call the 5-step profit formula. And this is tied to a software program. We look at, first of all, the foundation of your business. Then we look at lead generation, conversion of the leads, and creating transactions from those leads. And last of all, how to increase profits. And we have a software program, a proprietary software program that can analyze up to 48 different areas of marketing and sales and provide an estimate of what your upside will be if you change or add various marketing approaches to your market. So we're able to increase revenues anywhere from $10,000 per business up to hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, depending on the business size. And what this software does, it has 397 million algorithms behind it. It analyzes quantitative and qualitative questions that we ask, and then it projects through the algorithms what the upside will be in revenues.
That's very cool. I've been on it before myself also. It's pretty amazing what you see.
Yeah. So the foundations of the business basically are, what's your strategy? Because if you've got the wrong strategy, it's not going to work. You're not going to attract the clients you want. And that strategy includes a number of different things, which I'll talk about shortly. We want to look at how we dominate our market position. We may not be the biggest in the business, but we can take a chunk of the pie. What's your policies, procedures? Do you have things documented? Do you have systems and processes in place? And nowadays, the key is to build a relationship with customers by creating education, showing your expertise, showcasing your expertise, and building trust. So one thing not to do is what this business owner's done. Don't try to be all things to all people. It's Mabel Peabody's beauty parlor, chainsaw repair, and nightclub. So we don't want to go there. We want to specialize. We want to focus in one market area. We also worked with a company in Fort McMurray a few years ago. They had a real issue. I had done a keynote up in Fort McMurray, and afterwards the business development person for this organization came up to me and said, do you do any consulting? And I said, yeah, absolutely. So we had a discussion. She handed me her business card, and I said, let me guess. You probably spend 45 minutes explaining what all these 15 logos on the back of your business card are all about and what you do for customers. And she said, yeah, how did you know? So we went through a process of interviewing stakeholders, staff, managers, the management team of the various companies, and came back to them and suggested that we needed to rebrand and put a name on the organization that people could remember and recall. Now, they're wholly owned Aboriginal group. So some of the stakeholders happened to be the Aboriginal band. And so we had to include them in the process, of course. And we did a little research into the history of the company. So literally, this company started with one person and a pickup truck many years ago. When we worked with them, they were a $210 million company with all of these combined efforts. And so we rebranded them, looking at the history, which is they are the Athabasca Chippewa First Nations group. And so they also started the first company, and it was called Deniseline. So, and Dene is the branch of the Aboriginal group that is actually living in that area and owns the company. So when we rebranded, we came up with Acton, Athabasca Chippewa. Dene was the company name. It was also tied to the first company they ever developed. So what happened when we rebranded was that company went from a $210 million company to a $320 million company within a year and a short period of time. And part of the reason is that if the customer's confused, they won't buy. If they don't understand your business product, your service, your strategies, your approach to the market, and your messaging, they're not going to buy. So the messaging has to be clear. And I'd mentioned earlier within the foundation part about the fact that we have to have a market dominating position. What that simply means is we need to have the right target market we're approaching, ones that can afford to and want to buy from you. We have to have the right marketing and sales strategy. And that includes everything from brand to messaging to media, the media you select, whether it's social media or traditional media, the timing of your messaging, and the offer that you have. All of those things have to be in sync, and they have to be directed at the customer. So from a more leads perspective, a lot of businesses make a huge mistake in that they just start throwing stuff on social media and hoping it'll stick. And that's kind of what we call in the marketing game spray and pray approach. The key is that there's a number of different approaches to generating leads. One's referrals, another one's joint ventures. Another area could be publicity and promotion. Direct marketing still works. 67% of people still open their mail. Advertising still works. Digital marketing works, and there's a number of different options. So more leads. Here's what the social media and internet world looks like. There are so many options. So the challenge for all of us, and including us as a marketing company, is where do we go that our customer is going to be? What medias do we use such that our customers find us and connect with us? And then from there, how do we take those leads and convert them? So here's some of the mistakes most businesses make. First of all, they take a tactical approach. What that means is exactly what I said. They start throwing things on different media, whether it's traditional media or social media, without any plan and strategy in place. So the key is think strategy first, then tactics. And many businesses try all those things. They're not getting results, and they blame the media. They blame the tool that they're using as it's not working. But the fact is, it's probably not the right marketing strategy, and it's probably not the right message. Plus, many businesses rely on what we call platitudes. We have the best service. We have the most convenient hours and location. We've been in business for X number of years. Family owned and operated, so on and so forth. These are all platitudes. Customers want to see proof. They want to understand why you're in business, what you can do that's different than your competition, and what your services and products really are going to help them solve as a problem. So when we talk about more conversions, there's a number of different options to be able to keep people in the loop depending on what their buying time frame is. So things from a drip campaign, that's simply setting up an automatic email program, much like what we did to get you to attend this event. It was all automated. It went out on a schedule. And so that can be built so that you don't have to do the emails every day individually. Do we have a follow-up program and a closing process? Do we have closing ratios that are exceeding our expectations or beyond our expectations? Do we have scripts everything from cold calls to sales scripts to email scripts and so on. Because if we do, it makes it much more convenient and easy to be able to send messages out on a regular basis. And most of all, do we have a compelling offer? So I'm going to talk about compelling offer in a minute or two here. From a more transactions perspective, how does our sales team work? Or are we the sales team? And if we are, how do we take leads and convert those leads into paying customers? What's our appointment setting process? Do we have additional products and services we can offer? Or can we joint venture with somebody to provide more products or services for an existing customer? Can we increase the frequency of purchase? So if a client was buying once every month or once every couple of months, can we increase that by providing some new services or products? Can we downsell? And a downsell is simply going from a higher price ticket to something that's a little less price, but still has some value for that particular customer, so that when they're not able to buy the full package that we're offering, we can give them something that's still a value, doesn't cost us anything, but provides value to the customer. And then last of all, how many of us have gone back to former clients and checked in with them to see what they're doing and how we might be able to help them? I know when COVID hit, that was one of the first things I did, was go back to my previous customers. If we could have everybody mute themselves, that'd be great. Thank you. So more transactions kind of looks like this. If you were a landscaper, maybe you could do tree trimming, deck building, so on and so forth. There's a number of different things that a landscaper can do in the off season when it's not summer. Or they could work with a partner or suppliers that could provide those services through their organizations so that they look much bigger in what they do. So, oh, somehow we went back. Hold on a second here. I'm not sure what happened. The joys of technology. So more profits. Can we increase prices? During this COVID time, there's a great fear by many, many businesses. If we increase our prices, we're going to lose customers. But is that actually factual? And if you are losing customers, were they your ideal customer to start with? Alan, can you flip that back? For some reason, it's stuck.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Thanks. There we go. Can we increase the buying cycle? So if a customer buys from you for a month and then they don't come back, can you do something that will help them buy on a regular basis other services and products? Can we upsell or cross-sell? So upselling simply means taking something that a customer is buying and providing a premium service or product. So think about it. If you've bought a car, you've probably had this happen. You go into the showroom, you look at a car, it's got all the bells and whistles. Then you sit with a salesperson and you're going through the pricing and they go, oh yeah, well, the tires, those are special tires, they're extra. The sunroof, that's extra. The stereo system, well, we can give you the basic stereo system, but if you want Bluetooth and so on, so that's upselling. Cross-selling is something that we experience all the time if the salesperson is good. So let's say you're going to paint your house, renovate your house. So you go into a home renovation store. Well, they have a bucket of paint there, but if they've done their merchandising correctly, they'll also have brushes, tape, and all of the other things you need that go with that. So that's cross-selling. So the key to any successful marketing, we have a formula that we talk to customers about. First of all is, how do we become the dominating group or company in the market? How do we become unique? Second, we have a conversion formula that talks about your messaging. Third, how do we create a compelling informational offer? And last is, what is our strategy and how do we create a strategic marketing campaign so we have ongoing opportunity to promote our business in the market? So here's a good example of positioning, dominating the market. So you're probably all familiar with Uber. When they came into the market, they basically devastated a lot of the taxi business because, first of all, they had upscale cars, so the limousines. They were clean, classy dressed drivers. They had the black image, so classy looking, and they provided better service. It was easier to get a hold of them. Many times when you called a taxi company, they didn't answer the phone. So Lyft came along and they were positioning against Uber. What they did, first of all, is their brand is completely different. So it's pink and it's fun. Their whole approach in the marketplace was simply creating a culture within their brand that stood out. So when their vehicles first came out, they had bright pink fuzzy mustaches on the vehicles. Riders could sit up front. They couldn't do that in Uber. And the drivers they hired were fun and interesting in conversation. So that's how they positioned themselves, and they managed to take a fair chunk of Uber's business away. Here's the key. Look at your marketing. And if it sucks, then it's time to change it. So we have to look at everything we do message-wise and change it. So we have a poll I just want Alan to bring up here for a second, and I just wanted to ask you a question.
Give me a second to go, David.
Yeah.
The screen. I don't know what's going on here. It says I'm logged in somewhere else, but I'm not. Give me a second, okay? Just keep on going.
Sure.
Keep on going, Dave. I'll get the poll up in
Sure.
a second, okay?
Sounds good. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the things that helps us getting our messaging across clearly is what we call our conversion formula. And so that simply is, first of all, we need to interrupt what's going on in the mind of the customer. We need to get inside their head, connect to things that they're looking for or messages that they're familiar with, and then interrupt their thinking. Secondly, we need to engage them. So the interrupt is the headline. The headline usually addresses a problem that they have. And this comes from advertising, but it works in everything. It works in social media, it works in newsletters, everything that you're doing. Second is we engage them by suggesting that there's a solution to their problem or an opportunity to change whatever's going on in their business, their world, and so on. Third part is to provide education. So what that means is that instead of trying to pitch your business, we offer them information that's helpful, useful, tips and ideas, helps them solve a problem or determine how they might be able to solve the problem. Could I, whoever's still unmuted, could I have you mute, please? Thank you. The last part is the offer. So the offer has to be something that's compelling enough, risk-free enough that people will consider communicating with you and accepting your initial offer. So here's a good example. The headline, best time ever to get braces, of course, because everybody's wearing masks, so nobody's going to know that you've got braces. What a fantastic way of being able to promote a business, a dental organization, and promote bracing, getting braces done. So also we can test our messaging. So if you're saying something in your messaging and the customer's thinking, well, I would hope so. You know, so if you're a dry cleaner and you say, well, our process and our shop and everything are clean, well, I would hope so. So in your own business, are there things that you're saying in your messaging, ways you're communicating with your customers that they're thinking, yeah, I would hope so? Can another company say what you say? Easy test for this is scratch out your name or your business name and write in the competition into your marketing. And if it sounds exactly the same and anybody else could say it, you're not unique and you haven't got market dominating position. So here's a good example of I would hope so. Here's a company that does septic tank cleaning and swimming pools. And so it says septic tanks pumped, swimming pools filled, not the same truck. So can we provide an offer? Many businesses do this. They offer an incentive offer. So, things like buy one, get one free, a percentage discount, a gift with purchase, free services, and so on. The disadvantages with this are you're sacrificing price integrity and profitability. Plus, it's easy to comparison shop. And you train your customers to only buy when there's a price discount or a discount and offer that is lower than the usual offer. So what works better than that, and how we can provide a better connection with our customers, promote what we do, is to do informational offers. So here's an example of a mortgage company, 8 biggest mortgage mistakes. It's a free report. People can download it or get it from the company. Or how about an idea guide? How many here know everything about sunrooms and what models and how you might add that to your house and what the options are? Well, this company has provided a sunroom idea guide where they talk all about the options and they make suggestions as to how people can add a sunroom to their home. Or a financial planner, a self-assessment guide. Or a home remodeler, providing a consumer guide to home remodeling. How many have renovated their house and had a lot of problems with either the contractor, the products, or you didn't get what you wanted? Well, part of that is the education process on what the expectations are and what you can do from that perspective. So the advantage is it builds trust, it establishes a relationship before you're selling, it offers evidence of the claims of those platitudes we often use, and it appeals to those future buyers. So here's what typically happens in the buying process, and many of you experience this yourselves, is on the low level, when people are still investigating buying something, it's low risk. People are looking at the benefits of why they should buy and the options. As they become soon to be buyers, now they're looking at the objections. Why or why wouldn't I deal with this company? And then when they get closer to buying, they're looking at vendor selection. Who should I buy from? This is where the informational offer helps and decreases the amount of risk. So the fact is that in many, many businesses in general, 3% of people are ready to buy right now. 6 to 7% are open to buying but haven't made a decision. 30% are not thinking about buying. 30% don't think they're interested. And another 30% know they're not interested and they'll never become your customer. So my question to you is, why are we in that dogfight for that 3%? Why aren't we doing something to attract the 67% that are interested in buying?
Amen, David.
So here's how we go from high risk to low risk in that, let's take an example. Many professionals are like this, by the way. They all market the same. They all make the same offers, and there's no differentiating factors. So typically with chiropractors, they put on their website, call us, get a free exam, schedule an appointment. But what if the chiropractor does a report and says, here's how to solve your back pain problems and cure back pain forever? Do you think that makes them stand out? Does it take them from a high risk investment to a lower risk, easy to consider option? So within our coaching program that we run, there's over 60 strategies that we can implement with businesses. And they all tie back to, first of all, looking at the options we have through that analysis with the software program. So here's some strategy you can use. Do you have any joint ventures? If you do, like here's a good example, a florist. Typically, people go to the jeweler, the wedding planner, the church, the reception, wedding dress, and so on before they look for flowers. So those could be referrals to the florist, and they could be joint venture partners. If the florist also has referrals that they can provide, they could provide them to wedding cake planners or makers, printers, so on and so forth. So that does two things. One, it helps your customers solve their problems easier because you become a resource. Two, it also gives them an opportunity. In some cases, businesses may provide a referral fee. So here's another example, and this is of a psychologist. And this is using that formula that I was telling you about. We looked at his original website, much like many other practitioners in that sector. So it says parenting advice and resources from Dr. John Smith. He's got 9 different areas that he focuses on, and he says, call us for a free consultation. Very typical of most professionals. He was getting about an average of 300 leads a month, and 10% of those became people that would book a consultation. About 3 of them turned into ongoing customers. And so from that perspective, he was doing okay. But that's a 1% conversion rate. So what we did is we took the website content and we created what was called a landing page. So a landing page is singular focused, and it gives the people an immediate connection to a problem they're having. This was the original video script he had on his website as well. So you can see from here, it's pretty standard. Parenting advice and resources, greetings, welcome you to Remarkable Parenting, call us for a free consultation. They offer 9 different areas of service. So he was, like I say, getting 300 leads a month, but we built a landing page. And what happened was that increased the number of people who saw the information and decided to consider the free option. So that took, out of the 60, that took 54 people who still didn't buy. We put them back into a lead funnel, as we've talked about, and that became 6 clients. So here's what we did. First of all, we created a headline to interrupt the thinking of the people looking for these services. Are you sick and tired of yelling, screaming, and belligerent attitude of your child? Now you can discover the secrets of controlling your child and instantly restoring peace and quiet in your home. So if you've had problems with children, and I'm sure many of us have, does this sound like a simple, easy, no risk way of solving a problem? So what he says is learn the secrets to maintaining control of your child in less than 60 seconds. So in other words, rather than hundreds of pages of articles in 9 different areas of focus for his business, he talks directly to the parents and suggests that they sign up for a free tip sheet. So the engagement part was the subheadline, the education is his video, and we changed that up. And last of all is the offer. The offer is low risk and a quick solution. Here's what we changed on the video script. We talked first of all about, the problem they have, then how it could be solved, and last of all, a low risk offer. So enter your name and email in the box to the right, and we'll send you a 60-second techniques that can immediately restore peace and quiet in your home. So here's what happened is, again, like I say, those leads became 60 people requested the offer, 6 new consultations, and 6 new patients, and an average sale of $800 per customer. So this increased his revenues $2,400 a month, or $28,000 in additional revenue per year. So how this worked was we entered in the prospects at the top of the funnel. So at year end, that became 3,600 prospects who were on a drip campaign to promote what he does, and that became 156 new clients. So the ones that never converted kept going back into the funnel. And how we determined what he could do from a marketing perspective is we used the software program. We looked at 4 different areas that he could improve in the marketing. And as a result, he went from a $250,000 practice to a $400,000 practice. So as I mentioned earlier, with the software program, we can look at 48 different areas of strategies in both marketing and sales to help solve the problems. But the key is this: if your customers don't know the difference in what you do from your competition, you don't have a market dominating position, your messaging is not clear, and like this customer in the produce shop, he says, what exactly is new improved lettuce? So after this program's over, if you'd like, you can go to my website, sparkcommunications.com. Sorry, the address is cut off there for some reason. And you're welcome to download a free ebook from my website. And it has tips and ideas and articles about what I've talked about today. I'm also in the process of finishing up 2 other books for small business. One's called The Digital Marketer's Roadmap, and the other one is The Financial Roadmap. And that's financial not from an accountant's perspective, but financial from a business owner's perspective on how we can increase revenues. So if you're interested in the other 2 books, please shoot me an email at dsaxby@Spark Communications, and we'll put the contact information into the chat as well. And I'll let you know when those are out in the market. So now is Q&A time. So if you'd like, you can either pop a question into the chat, or you can open up your microphone and just ask the question. And we'll take a few minutes to answer some questions that you may have.
Anybody have any questions? Otherwise, you can ask them again at the very, very end of the presentation.
Yeah, it looks like Bruce has got a question. Bruce?
Well, yeah, the question I have for you, David, is I'm in the process of, I'm going to say starting a new business, but in reality, it's the business I've been in for 3 years, but I'm starting it up new from now after the pandemic. And
Sure.
And there have been a number of things in the industry that have changed. Players and the competition has changed. And, and I would even say that many of our customers have rapidly changed the way they do business, and we're going to have to adapt to help them as well.
Sure.
So in marketing our services, which is technology services in general, and we work with all kinds of companies starting at about 100 million up to the top of the top, Fortune 2000. And we work with them in business consulting. I used to work with Pricewaterhouse, and I worked with Accenture. And so we have done a lot of this kind of work for them for many, many years. But that market has changed dramatically. The customers are not, they still need the services, but they're not looking exactly for them in exactly the same way.
Sure.
So we're kind of recalibrating our market and recalibrating the services that we can provide them. And I'm assuming that whatever we do with you, we can do some consulting with you to figure that out together.
Yeah,
Tony.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And maybe you and Dave should have a phone call after this to talk about in depth
exactly.
this. So let's get going with the presentations. We have people who are waiting for the LinkedIn stuff over here.
Sorry, Alan, Kim's got a quick question, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I've just got 2 quick questions. One is, and maybe it's a conversation for afterwards, I'm not quite sure I understand the difference between how you know what is tactical and how you know what is strategic, and how to kind of determine what's right. And the second question is, I'm still a bit confused on what a landing page is, what the definition of that means.
Sure. Okay. Well, we can
put those questions at the very
more.
end, David. Okay.
Yeah, we can chat about that a little afterwards. Just to clarify very quickly, strategic is the concept behind what's going to drive the marketing.
Oh, no, I understand that. Maybe we'll talk offline afterwards about it, because I think
that'd be best.
What's specific?
Sure.
Got a whole lot of content to go through about LinkedIn still.
All right, fire away there, Alan.
Okay, no problem at all. So in the chat box, yes or no, just type in a Y or N. How many of you are using a properly managed LinkedIn lead generation system and getting leads from LinkedIn on a regular basis? Just type a yes or no in the chat box right now. So we got a bunch of no's, couple of yeses. Okay. Well, LinkedIn for me has changed my life. There are 880 million users on LinkedIn as of September 2021, 160 million users in North America. 44% of LinkedIn users earn more than $75,000 per year, which is different because on Facebook, it's only $30,000. And what does that mean for you? It means a huge opportunity for lead generation or marketing on LinkedIn. So today I'm going to talk about what I believe are the 4 pillars of success on LinkedIn, especially as of 2022, because things have changed recently. People, because they've been on LinkedIn more and more, are becoming more and more savvy. So you have to have these 4 things done properly on LinkedIn. Otherwise, not much is going to happen as far as lead generation or marketing. And that is your profile outstanding and completed? Are you growing your list on LinkedIn by increasing the number of first connections and followers? Do you have a consistent content marketing and engagement strategy? And I'll talk more about those during the presentation. And are you using the LinkedIn event platform like we are here? So LinkedIn profile. It's more than an online business card. It's your personal brand and marketing platform. Your profile has to be absolutely amazing nowadays. Otherwise, you have so many people on LinkedIn who are doing what you're doing. If your profile is not outstanding, then people are going to go next. So how do you stand out from your competition? How do you create engaging content? How do you promote your events? And how do you build a following on LinkedIn? Well, it all starts with your profile, like I said. So everybody's heard of the saying, you only get one chance to make a first impression. It's very important that your cover banner and photo look outstanding. Unfortunately, most people on LinkedIn have no cover banner, have an old headshot that's either blurry or doesn't present them in a very professional way, and we think that's really a mistake. Having a great, engaging, cool cover banner gives people the impression that you're very professional. And often people will decide whether or not to accept your connection request and whether or not to keep on going with your LinkedIn, content simply from your My Network page. How many of you have been on the My Network page and gone, well, I'm looking at these people's, profiles here, and if it doesn't look amazing, like you see the one for Arexia LD at the very, very bottom, right? I would tell this person to do a new headshot. Or Jennifer Olin, right? There's no message over here. So how many of you get these connection requests on LinkedIn that have no message? You look at the person's headshot and just go, no, I'm not going to say yes to their connection request. So it's very, very important you have all your ducks in a row. So here are some examples of great and outstanding LinkedIn banners. Some of them I've designed myself, some of them I haven't, but I started collecting these a while ago to make sure that people actually saw what does an amazing, outstanding LinkedIn cover banner look like that makes you go, oh yeah, this person looks really professional, and gives you that feeling of professionalism, because we all got to overcome that the hump of credibility when we're talking to people on LinkedIn. And it all starts with having your outstanding professional, banner, having a great headshot, making sure your headshot looks very professional. So if you're in business and you sell B2B services, you should be looking very professional. But also very important, which we don't see a lot of on LinkedIn sometimes, is make sure you're smiling to some degree in your cover headshot. People want people who look very, very friendly also. Because if you have a very, very stoic looking headshot, people might go, oh, I thought the person doesn't give me that professionalism, doesn't look that friendly. I'm going to find somebody else. And honestly, people have told me that because I've been doing this for now 13 years. And I ask people on a regular basis, what brought you to my profile? Have you seen other profiles on LinkedIn? What do you think is wrong with your profile picture and your profile cover banner? If they even have one sometimes, and they open up to me. Now, if you're running a resort business and you have a Mai Tai in your hand and you're wearing a tropical shirt, that's fantastic. But otherwise, if you're in business and you sell B2B, which is business to business, as opposed to business to consumer, which is B2C, I recommend a dark suit jacket, a light shirt. If you want to look very professional, wear a tie. But once again, look professional and approachable. And then within your LinkedIn profile, there's something called LinkedIn SEO. Now, SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, and normally it's for websites to be able to find on Google, but LinkedIn, the search bar at the top left-hand side of the LinkedIn, website is basically a search engine. And a search engine needs to have key phrases or words that you want to be found on your profile, like this over here. Here's my profile on LinkedIn. And within my profile, it's very, very important that you have the phrases that you want to be found on. For instance, my first phrase on my profile is LinkedIn lead generation expert. So you want to have your most important phrase in the title of your LinkedIn profile, and then you want to have what makes you different, what makes you unique, and why should I use you as opposed to the other people on LinkedIn who do exactly the same thing you do. And we all know sometimes there's hundreds or thousands of people on LinkedIn who do what you do. So, what not to do your headline on LinkedIn? Don't just use a top job title like you're the CEO of your company. Don't make it too general. And the 4 things that people actually want to know when they come to your profile and look at your LinkedIn, profile and your cover banner and your headshot are: who are you? And write this down, please. Who are you? What do you do? What can you do for me? And why should I use your services as opposed to, once again, the hundreds or possibly thousands of other people on LinkedIn who do exactly the same thing you do? If you can't communicate that well to your possible clients, they're going to be confused, and a confused mind says no. So it's very, very important that this should just roll off your tongue. Who are you? I'm a LinkedIn lead generation expert. What do? I get you a never-ending stream of leads from LinkedIn. What can you do for me? I can fill up your pipeline on LinkedIn and get you, meetings for your target market every single week after week, month after month, year after year. And why should I use your services as opposed to everybody else? Well, I've been doing this 13 years. I have all the data from doing that for my customers for the last 13 years of what works, what doesn't work, what are the messages that work on LinkedIn, how to create a great looking profile headshot for my clients, how to create a great cover banner, what are all the things, and what you should be doing on LinkedIn to make sure that you turn your LinkedIn profile and your company page into a lead generation machine. And as you can see, I turn founders, staff members into LinkedIn experts that are generating massive revenue for their organization. Direct message me today, and would you like 5 to 15 new sales calls every single week? So here's another example. I help businesses create engaging content for social media that brings attention, leads and sales without breaking the bank or sucking at too much time. Direct message me, video marketing, LinkedIn trainer, top of the funnel. And she has, at that point, I think she has like almost 800,000 followers now. I just started doing what she's doing recently. She's been doing this for 2.5 years now. So, what are the keywords tailored to your target audience? Well, if you're an accountant, you should be talking about accounting or bookkeeping or saving people money on tax. Use the language of your industry and field, but don't make it too overcomplicated. Don't use language that if you go to a layman in the organization or in the industry, they have no idea what you're talking about. I've seen people do that, and once again, it's very confusing, and people don't understand what you actually do if you're using language that's too complicated or words that people have no idea what they mean at all. So, your About section on LinkedIn. Once again, here's my About section on LinkedIn. And you need to have this written very well as your top headline. Are you looking for a lead generation expert when it comes to LinkedIn? I know you want to be respected and renowned in your industry. You have your target market reaching out to you and with you. In order to do that, you need to make engaging, shareable, and high quality video content, and you don't know how. So, and then go on to the rest of the information over here. So it's very, very important that you communicate what you're doing, how you do it, and why you're different. You know what your clients and your possible market's pain points are. They tell you on a regular basis. I'm so glad I found you because I was having this problem and you solved the problem for me. Unfortunately, we find that most people don't write this information down and they don't communicate it properly on the LinkedIn profile. I help my clients do that by wordsmithing their profile, by interviewing them on Zoom, and then writing their profile and their About section for them so you don't have to do it yourself. Here are some
Alan, I
examples.
posted the LinkedIn examples. I posted the link for that on.
Oh, great. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Here's some LinkedIn examples of people's profiles before and after shots. I'm not sure what I'll cut off here. And here's an example of the great profile headlines on LinkedIn with eye-catching LinkedIn profiles back from 2016. And David, I'm sure, could either put this one in here or will in a second here. Rich media. So another big part of LinkedIn that's changed from 2020 and 2021 is you've got to be able to create content that your target audience will consume. And the content we're talking about on LinkedIn is static posts, LinkedIn videos, carousel posts, as well as polls. Those are the four things that are really popping very, very well on LinkedIn right now. And I know this because I belong to a LinkedIn Elite Mastermind that I belong to. And they actually speak to LinkedIn, and LinkedIn gives us real-time data every single week before we have our meeting with the Elite Mastermind people. They actually speak to LinkedIn and bring that information back to us. So imagine you're searching for LinkedIn on LinkedIn for sellers in your specialized niche. You search and results in two different profiles. You know, one profile has no real content marketing, no real content posting, and the other one does. Which one are you going to go to? Well, from my information I receive from people I talk to on a regular basis, the one that has a ton of content marketing, just like this over here. All activity, my posts, my information on a regular basis. I'm posting this. I created this cool little video the other day.
Business, but is frustrated. He's having trouble getting leads. He's heard of lead generation on LinkedIn.
So I help my clients create this kind of content for their profiles. And if you don't create content that not only has great information for it, but also gets great engagement. So you can see this post over here, I had 369 likes, 72 comments, and this one over here, 527 likes, 37 comments. This one over here, I forgot to have my clients engage with properly. This one over here, I have 506 likes, 76 comments. And so you need to be able to train the LinkedIn algorithm that says within the first 60 minutes of you posting on LinkedIn, you need to get some amazing engagement on LinkedIn. Otherwise, the algorithm says, I'm not going to show your content to any of your first connections. So I have 20,000 plus connections on LinkedIn. And, if I don't train the algorithm on a regular basis to, get this information out to them, no one's going to see my information. And what you're competing with basically is the LinkedIn feed. Very, very important that you know that this is where your people are living, and you need to be able to, compete and see what people are doing here. So this one has 197 likes, 26 comments, right? And you'll see people on LinkedIn, 2,369 likes, 48 comments, and almost 80,000 views. So, what are you doing on LinkedIn as far as your lead generation and your marketing? Do you have a content engagement strategy as well as a content posting strategy? And unfortunately, I find most of my clients don't. Next thing is, how do I rank on LinkedIn? So David, you can put this link into the chat box. I appreciate very much. And this is your SSI
Absolutely.
Social Selling Index score on LinkedIn. You can check yourself. I'm about at 86. They say on LinkedIn that anything above 80 is amazing. So, this also gets you seen more on LinkedIn. So if your SSI score, which measures establishing your brand, communicating and finding the right people, engaging with those people on LinkedIn, and building relationships, the biggest thing I find people are not doing is engaging with other people on LinkedIn. And so that affects your SSI score. That means you should be commenting and you should be liking and sharing other people's content that's engaging with insights on LinkedIn. And what that does is that increases your SSI score, and that makes you more visible to your target market on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, most people have SSI scores of like 70s or 60s, which means you're not doing enough on LinkedIn to get noticed. Content marketing for 2022. Why is so important? It shows that you are the absolute authority in your niche. By posting content on LinkedIn, I recommend 2 to 3 posts per week, either a video or a poll or a static post, but also, once again, commenting on other people's articles and posts, especially if that person is commenting is in your that you want to comment on their stuff is in your target market. That's a great strategy to have, actually. So write this down also. Comment, like, and share the content of the people who you want to become. You want them to become your client. So if you want to find people on LinkedIn that you love to have them as a client, or their company, to start commenting, liking, and sharing and posting on their content, and that way they'll notice you on a regular basis. And when it comes to having that conversation with them, they'll go, "Oh yeah, you've been commenting and you've been following my content for a while now. I know you. I kind of like you and trust you also because you've been kind enough to comment, like, and share my content." Content marketing is one of the most unrated and important things that were happening in 2021 and now 2022. It's the best and newest way to bring inbound leads to your profile. So it's one thing to request people to become your first connection, but you want to start having people follow you, and there's ways of doing that also on LinkedIn, having people follow you and getting you onto their radar. This lady, if you look her up, Bridget Hassianth, she now has, I think, over 4 million followers on LinkedIn, and she's done that by posting tons of video content over the last 4 or 5 years. Actually, I started following Bridget about 4 or 5 years ago. As you can see in this one below her headshot here, she had 2 million followers at one point in time. This one activity has 3 million followers now. I believe once again she's up to 4 million followers because she talks about leadership and posting people's information for jobs. And she never sells into her stuff. She never says hire me. People just go to her to hire her. But once you have like 4 million followers on LinkedIn, you're getting a huge amount of people and a huge amount of people asking you to hire you for your services, and your LinkedIn profile becomes an inbound lead generation machine as opposed to an outbound lead generation machine. The difference between the two is an outbound lead generation machine is you posting the content on there and you asking people to become your first connection, and then inbound is people messaging you or asking you to be their connection on LinkedIn or following you and direct messaging you on LinkedIn through your posts and asking you to have a meeting with them and making sure that you have all your ducks in a row as far as do you have all of your contact information on here. So is your content information on LinkedIn up to speed? So I find a lot of people don't have the right contact info on LinkedIn, or the contact info. How many of you have gone on LinkedIn and the contact info they have on here is old or wrong? And have you updated your contact info? Because let's say someone finally does want to contact you and does want to hire you. You know how frustrating it is to go on their website and the website doesn't work at all, or their calendar booking doesn't work, or they have no phone number at all. It's very frustrating, and I'm sure we've all been through that beforehand. It's just a matter of, do you have your information up to date on LinkedIn? And most people unfortunately don't.
You're not using LinkedIn event
Here's
platform,
examples of videos
and
I've created.
It's costing you money. The LinkedIn event platform, what is it?
Gonna go previous here for a second.
Hey, it's Alan Fine here again with a great idea for your trade show.
Go previous. I'm not sure why it's clicking on there if I turn it off. And then
Help! I've been put in LinkedIn jail and I can't get out.
So I star in all my videos myself personally because it gets people to know who I am. It gets people to know they can trust me. And as we've seen from, having a great engagement strategy, this is the kind of engagement you can get. These are actual screenshots from other people on LinkedIn who've gotten massive engagement on their posts and on their content, which once again correlates and turns into having your lead generation machine as a high performing inbound marketing funnel. Here is the event for today, which is very, very important. Are you using the LinkedIn event platform? There are approximately 880 million people on LinkedIn. An extremely small percentage of those people are creating ongoing events on LinkedIn. That leaves you, the audience, and people on this webinar today with a phenomenal opportunity to do your events on LinkedIn to drive inbound leads. Educational marketing is one of the strongest forms of marketing out there on the planet. And all you do is click on the little link on LinkedIn and go to here, the LinkedIn event platforms from the home page. And here's a little button to go and click on events and create your own event on LinkedIn. It's very, very simple to do. Now make sure also that when you do this, the organizer should be a company page, not your personal page, because then you can't get the LinkedIn lead generation registration form, which collects people's information as far as their email addresses so you can contact them afterwards. It doesn't happen for some reason when you have your event as you personally. It only works when you have your event as your company page. So, Dave and I hope you got some great information. We went over a bit. We're going to answer more questions for you now, but here's what we can do to help you. We have this phenomenal package we put together. David, can you pop a link to the package in the chat box, please?
Absolutely. It is in there now.
Right. So on my side, I'm going to do everything I do for you on my profile makeover program, which normally I charge $1,500 for. It's going to get a new cover banner for yourself, come and copyright your whole profile, and I'll show you how to use the event platform, how to do your content marketing and strategy, how to do your reach out on LinkedIn. And normally, once again, I charge $1,500 just for my part. And Dave is going to give you, David?
An analysis first off of your sales marketing you're doing using our profit acceleration software. We're going to cover probably about 3 to 5 strategies in an hour's time to do that analysis. And we can extend that if you're interested beyond that. We'll provide a report outlining those areas. And then also I'm offering a group coaching program, which is available through me as well for an ongoing opportunity there. So that's the first package. And then Alan, did you put the second package in there?
Yeah, that is the package we have on for the webinar today. And if they wanted to do other packages with us, they can talk to us about that afterwards.
Yeah.
So we have some free gifts for attending today. Dave is going to put those in the chat box as well. And now we're going to open up the platform again, once again, to your Q&A, your questions. Unmute yourselves, ask us questions. We'll be happy to answer for you now. And we'll stay as long as we possibly have to get all your questions answered. So unmute yourselves and start asking us the questions. We're here for you.
Will you be sending the presentation to us?
Yes, we will be, yeah, afterwards for sure.
Great.
Definitely. Anybody
It'll
have
be
any
a couple of
questions?
days right after the program because we'll clean up the video and get it out to everybody. And also
Okay.
we'll be sending out a follow-up email with the links that we've mentioned in it. And feel free to shoot us an email or contact us directly. And I'll just put our contact information into this as well.
Okay.
Here's our contact information. And also the links to the free gifts we've mentioned in there. So the ebook as well as Alan's LinkedIn tip sheet.
Yeah, since anybody had any questions for us about the presentation or about LinkedIn or about marketing in general, we're over here. We're no more time constraints, and we're happy to answer them for you right now.
If you'd like to
Anybody
reach
has
out,
any LinkedIn questions at all?
It's good information. Thank you.
oh,
Our
you're welcome.
pleasure today.
Happy to chat with you afterwards too. If you'd like to, like I say, send us an email or give a quick call, or
Yep.
I'm happy to follow up with you on that regard.
Okay.
So nobody's got any questions. Wow.
Well, you did a great job,
I'm
man.
going to ask one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh
Hey,
yeah, go
Alan.
ahead, Jim.
Your SSI, I've been following that SSI for a while, and my engage with insights section went down 10 points over the last couple of weeks or months. I just since the last time I checked it, just a huge drop in that section. The rest of them remain pretty consistent. In fact, one of them I'm at 25 out of 25, but that
Nice
one
job.
dropped 10 big points. The engage with insights. Do you have any idea how to get that back up?
Yep. Like, share, and comment. And the biggest one also is share. So are you sharing other people's posts?
Probably not.
Okay, so yeah, do that one. So
Okay.
like, comment, and share. So
Yeah,
I
like
try
and
to do
comment.
that with my VA 3 to 4 times a day, every single day.
Okay, it's the sharing part that I got to get a little
Yeah,
better at.
exactly. Yeah,
Right,
that sharing
right.
part. And I didn't never realize LinkedIn put so much emphasis on doing that. And actually, if you look at that SSI thing, I'm just going to go back to it for a second. Where to go to? Here it is. Yeah. So this is actually a marketing tool for Sales Navigator. If you click on establish your professional brand, find the right people, engage with insights, build relationships, it actually hyperlinks to the Sales Navigator page to try to sell you into Sales Navigator. I'm a firm believer in using Sales Navigator, but I'm just saying that's what this actually is. It's a Sales Navigator selling tool. But at the same time, it also does make your profile more visible when people do a key phrase search on this part over here on LinkedIn. When they're going to the search bar at the top right hand side, it does actually get your profile to show up more. If I'm looking for, let's say, a bookkeeper, so people who have a SSI score, a higher SSI score, will be the people who actually show up at the very, very top of the search on LinkedIn, as well as having the proper phrases within their profile and their professional headline.
Yeah, the other key to that as well is that whatever you're posting, sharing, liking, and so on, the more focused it is on your core target market, the better chances are the people you need to reach are receiving the information. So, I've seen a lot of people post personal information on LinkedIn these days. And I suppose that's okay, but really LinkedIn is all about business to business. Facebook is the personal channel. So that's also getting back to tactics. It's looking at your strategy and what are you going to do in each of the different channels strategically.
Sure. I think Kim had a question.
Yep.
Yes. How do you know what, there's so much copyright and proprietary information and things like that. How do you know what you're allowed to actually share? Because I'm trying to think of things that I can share, but, obviously there's things that there's networks that I'm connected into, but they own the information. So how do you know what you're allowed to share and what you're not?
Yeah, I would think you're allowed to share whatever you want to share on LinkedIn, as long as you're not basically stealing someone's information and making it your own. I wouldn't see any restrictions on that. Now, of course, there are some, industries that have very tight compliance issues, like mortgages, like financial advisors. So, as far as that kind of thing goes, you got to make sure that you're following compliance. You won't get in trouble with LinkedIn, but you might get in trouble with your organization. But as far as being able to share anything, just share what you want to share on LinkedIn.
It's not the sharing so much, because I figure if someone's already put it on LinkedIn, it's fine to share it to other people.
Yeah.
It's more if you're creating new content yourself. How do you know what's I'm part of, some of the organizations, I'm in human resources, some of the organizations I'm involved in provide all kinds of fabulous information and the latest legislation, through an organization that I've paid to be a member of, so I can kind of get policies and things like that. but I don't think I can just share that document or share that information willy-nilly. Like, they own that.
Right.
Well,
But
and another way of looking at it, Alan, sorry, didn't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt you there, but another way of looking at it too is if it's valuable information that you think you can share with your market and help your market, reach out to that organization and say, can I share this information? They'll tell you whether they have restrictions or not. A lot of organizations on an article in particular, or white papers or whatever, will put a note on that paper and it says copyright, please contact the author for use. So that's another thing to look at. And also paraphrasing or sharing a part of something is okay too. So if you don't take the whole article or whatever it is you're going to share, copy and put your name on it and send it out as yours, then yeah, you're going to get in trouble. But if you paraphrase something and say, as per this association or as per this person, I heard this or read this or saw this, that helps them. And I can't understand why they would say no.
If I look at, for instance, the book of 12 reasons. So if I look at the book, for instance, of 12 reasons why someone would leave an organization and paraphrased what I think those 12 reasons are, that would be legal for me to do that, even though it's from a book.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely. Yeah.
And I was going to say also, a lot of companies have a social media compliance guide. Like they have a PDF they've written, and they'll be able to supply that to you to see what you can and can't do. So I would ask them for their compliance PDF to see what you can and can't share on social media, because most of them have one.
Yeah, it'll be on their website most likely.
Thank you.
Our pleasure, Kim. Anybody else have any questions at all?
Like I say, feel free to reach out to us after the fact if you come up with some ideas or things that you want to talk about briefly. And please go and have a look at our offer, because as Alan mentioned, I mean, combined between us, there's about $3,000 worth of value in what we're sharing. And so our reason for sharing it and providing it at the low cost is to let you know that we can help your business and you can actually test it out with that package, and then we can help you implement on an ongoing basis. So appreciate you all being here, and our apologies, we did go a few minutes over, but hopefully we provided enough value. It was worthwhile staying with us right to the end, and look forward to chatting with everybody afterwards. Feel free, like I say, to reach out to us.
Hey, David, that link you put in for the offer is still going to a page you have to log into your Aweber.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay. My apologies.
So post it again, please.
Yes, you bet. I'll also send it out in an article.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. Okay. I apologize. Actually, let me send it out afterwards here. I don't,
Sure.
for some reason, it should be the one that's on those slides. Can you copy and paste it from your side, Alan?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, let's see here. Where is that one?
Yeah, the previous one has, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just grab this. Let's see, this is the one that works. And paste and go. There it is.
That should work.
There it goes.
Perfect.
So I'll just pop this one to the chat box here to make sure everybody has it before we go here. If you want to go to that page. And thank you, Tracy. Thank you, David. Appreciate it very much. And you guys have a wonderful day today. Once again, get back to us if you need our help. And we look forward to speaking with you.
Take care, everybody. Happy New Year. Best wishes for success in 2022. Hopefully this darn pandemic ends soon.
Oh, Rob owns wine kits. I've been to one of your stores there, Rob. Awesome.
Ah, yes.
I love your stuff. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, bye-bye, guys.
Great material, guys. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Take care.